although I've mentioned in previous vlogs, it's worth repeating that magic squares have an illustrious history within Islam and predate Shams al-Ma'arif, both as mathematical theory and occulted purposes. One of the earliest known theorists on magic squares is Abu Musa Jabir al-Hayyan, who died somewhere around 1806 to 1816, known as Gerber in the West. Kutub al-Mawazin, the Book of Balances, appears to have consisted of 144 treatises, although relatively independent from each other and devoted to a wide range of topics, such as cosmology, grammar, music theory, medicine, logic, metaphysics, mathematics, astronomy, etc. All approach their subject matter from the perspective of the science of balance, Ilmu al-Mizan, a theory which aims at reducing all phenomena to a series of measures and quantitative proportions. According to Aristotelian physics, each element is composed of two qualities. Fire is hot and dry, earth is cold and dry, water is cold and moist, and air is hot and moist. In the Jibrian corpus, these qualities came to be called natures, and elements are said to be composed of these natures, plus an underlying substance, jauhar. In metals, two of these natures were interior and two were exterior. For example, lead was predominantly cold and dry, and gold was predominantly hot and moist. Thus, Jabir theorised by rearranging the nature of one metal, a different metal would result. Jabir believed that this would require a catalyst, al-Iksir, the exclusive elixir that would make this transformation possible, which in European alchemy became known as the Philosopher's Stone. In Kutub al-Mawazin, Jabir introduces the association of the placements of the holding number 1 to signify which of the elements the square refers to, something that is repeated but in a modified form in Shams al-Ma'arif. But Jabir also discusses other placements to signify the elements of air, earth, fire and water. The Ikhwan Al-Ṣafa, the Brethren of Purity, were a secret society of Muslim philosophers in Basra, now Iraq, in the 9th or 10th century CE, on whom I've already issued a vlog. The Rasail Ikhwan Al-Ṣafa, the epistles or encyclopedia of the Brethren of Purity, consists of 52 treatises in mathematics, natural science, psychology, physical sciences, and theology. The first part, which is on mathematics, groups 14 epistles that include treatises in arithmetic, geometry, astronomy, geography, and music, along with tracts in elemental logic. The second part, which is on natural science, gathers 16 epistles on matter and form, generation and corruption, metallurgy, meteorology, a study of the essence of nature, the classes of plants and animals, including a fable. The third part, which is on psychology, comprises of 10 epistles on physical and intellectual sciences, dealing with the nature of intellect and the intelligible, the symbolism of temporary cycles, the mystical essence of love, resurrection, causes and effects, definitions and descriptions. The fourth part deals with theology in 11 epistles, investigating the varieties of religious sects, the virtues of companionship of the Brethren of Purity, the properties of genuine belief, the nature of divine law, the species of political and essential magic. The Ikhwan Al-Ṣafa certainly mentions magic squares, although there is debate if the Fisnaf, Al-Hawayanat, Al-Ajiyab, Haki Lila, Gharib, Al-Wahalia, Epistle 22nd, the case of animals versus the man before the king of the jinn, is a later addition, which, given the checkered history and potential authorship of Shams al-Marith, would not surprise me. The Rasail Ikhwan Al-Ṣafa, in Rasail Ikhwan Al-Ṣafa, great attention is paid to the four elements: air, fire and water, the four natures, hot, cold, dry and wet, the four humours, blood, phlegm, yellow bile and black bile, the four seasons, the four cardinal directions and their relation to the cosmos or stars, the four winds and the four products: animal, human, mineral and plant. This really fixes the use of placement of the holding number 1 to signify which element the square refers to, and indeed archangels, repeated in Shams al-Marith. The Ikhwan Al-Ṣafa also introduces the square of the sun as a 6x6 magic square, whose sum is 666. The Egyptians considered the numbers 3, 6 and 7 as sacred. 3 represented the triple goddess, 6 signified union with God, 7 signified the 7 Hathors, 7 planetary spheres, the 7-gated holy city, and so on. The Egyptians divided the sky into 36 zones known as decans. 666 is the product of 3 times 6 times 37, or 18 times 37, which equals 666. Rather unsurprisingly, this association with Egypt has been used rather circuitously to link it to the Great Pyramid. Carbon-12 is the most abundant of the 2 staple isotopes of the element carbon, accounting for 98.89% of all of Earth's carbon. It's made up of 6 protons, 6 neutrons and 6 electrons. The number has its origin in ancient practices. These promoted the worship of the gods and were associated with the sun, the moon, the visible planets of the solar system, and certain stars related to the practice of astrology. The number of the beast is associated with the beast of Revelation in chapter 13, verse 18 of the book of Revelations. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man should buy or sell, save that he had the mark or the name of the beast on the number of his name. In most manuscripts of the New Testament, in English translation of the Bible, the number of the beast is 666, or its Greek numerical equivalent. Papyrus 115, which is the oldest preserved manuscript of the Revelation, as well as other ancient sources like the Codex Ephraemi Rescriptus, give the number of the beast as either 616 and not 666. Critical editions of the Greek text, such as the Novum Testament Graecii, note 616 as a variant. And a numeric skull from Wadi Mubarat, dated of the 2nd year of Emperor Neo, refers to him by his name and title. In Hebrew it is the Nor al-Qasar, which produces the number 666. In Latin it's Noro Qasar, which produces the number 616. The reason why the Bible speaks no negatively about 666 is that it symbolises the power of the person who has this number to have power over all other gods. Gematria has also used the word Meometis, a dubiously obscure Latinization of the Greek transliteration of the Arabic name Muhammad. Momentis is, in Greek numerals, totals 666. Scholars are highly dubious that Momentis is actually a translation of Muhammad. This points to how Gematria, or Huruf, it's quite possible to reverse engineer a magic square that produces almost any name, especially if allowing foreign and misspellings of it. Thus 666 has not only been used to suggest that Muhammad is the Antichrist, but also Hitler and a variety of other demonic characters to Christian fundamentalists. Indeed, I've even found a vlog by an American pastor connecting it to the Union Jack, the flag of the country of my birth. In another vlog by a Christian Zionist, it was claimed that Obama, Trump and Zuckerberg could also be found in the Gematria 4666. Now, I was completely unaware of Christian Zionists until very recently. A relatively small sect based largely in the US South. They speak in very spiritual terms, but this masks their overtly political agenda. On the subject of political agendas, it's possible to find Christoph V, or Jesus, within this square, a deceit even beyond Salafis. But Salafis do re-engineer magic squares to claim they spell out the names of jinn, thus adding to their condemnation of Shams al-Marif. While Salafis completely condemn Huruf, despite using it to erroneously spell out jinn, the number 666 is not particularly significant to mainstream Muslims, and certainly it's not a number associated with Iblis or the Antichrist. Gold in alchemy represents the purified spirit and is also traditionally associated with the sun. Indeed, across many religions, the sun square is seen as the most important magic square, regardless of its association with 666. The year, of course, relates to the solar cycle, so there is the suggestion in the biblical quote from Kings of a link between the number 666 and the sun. Although many believe the origin of this magic square to be Babylonian, from Babylon, certainly it appears in medieval Europe, but has more ancient origins. The magic square of the sun was one of the most important symbols used to represent the sun in antiquity, because of all the symbolism it possessed involving the perfect number 6. Each row and column of the magic square contains 6 numbers, i.e. it's a 6x6 magic square. The square contains 36 numbers in total, ranging from 1 to 36. Now these are the base numbers. Shams al-Marif would add to those base numbers using the divine names of Allah. Each row, column and diagonal adds up to 111. All of the numbers in the square add up to 666. The sum of the corner quadrants is 74, as is the same for the central quadrant and the remaining quadrants, suggesting that this is actually constructed by nesting 3x3 magic squares. Without nesting, the creation of the square of the sun is complex. It is constructed by first filling each square with a number 1 to 36 consecutively, starting at the bottom left with 1 and working towards the upper right with 36. Numbers inside the boxes along the main diagonals of the square are then inverted. For example, 1 and 36 change places, as does 31 and 6. Once this is done, more pairs of numbers still need to be inverted to make all of the rows and columns add up to 111. In Shams al-Marif, the sun square certainly appears, which seems to build on that presented in the Ikhwan Al-Ṣafa. It's mentioned with the following associations: obviously the sun, 6x6 equals 36, which is associated with the guide, 111, which is associated with the adjuster, and 666, which is associated with the leader. The letter Qaf, the angel Rukael, the golden one, named Lel Tahil, the divine name Al-waḥid, the unique, the single, holy book Al-Qu'aran, the prophet Daud or David, the practice of alchemy, the day Sunday, and the pelvis in the body. The Shams al-Ma'arif also associates a 13 by 13 square with the sun. It has 169 squares, 1,105 line sum, and 14,364 total sum. The 6 by 6 square also appears in Kitab al-Bulan, the Book of Wonders, which I've also issued a vlog on, although there is an error in the presentation of this square in the original manuscript, which appears to be deliberate. The same is true in different versions of Shams al-Ma'arif. The amulet of a square in metal was found in the possession of Anada, king of Anxi, an imperial prince of the Yuan dynasty of China. It's believed to be used to ward off evil spirits, although using its associations in Shams al-Ma'arif, this would seem unlikely. Of course, it may not be based on the tradition explained within Shams al-Ma'arif, or most likely simply a folk interpretation of the sun square. In the Western magical tradition, the sun square has become associated with the day Sunday, number 6, element fire, zodiac sign Leo, colours yellow gold, minerals diamond, citrine, lemon quartz, pyrite, yellow calcite, metals gold, plants bay, cinnamon, chamomile, frankincense, orange, sunflower, deities Apollon, Helios, Mithra, Sol, Suna and Sulis, correspondences health, vitality, ego, power, success, advancement, leadership and growth, offerings, candles, honey, incense, water, wine and yellow flowers.